Right, video 29, part 2. Where were we then? Yeah, butterfly Chinese takeaway. If anybody else went to the butterfly Chinese takeaway, right? Also, did you think it was the best curry you'd ever had? Right? Do you remember the curry was like an orange colour, like a really bright, fluorescent-y, orangey yellow colour? Right? I've never seen curry since. I don't know whether it's because it was that many E numbers and colours and whatever in it, but it just felt like it was the best curry ever. My mum and dad used to swear by it as well, until they found another one years on, as you do. If anybody else does and thought it was, let me know. Right, where were we? Chinese takeaway. Right, here we go. As I was saying, there was more to the Chinese takeaway, the butterfly, than what was thought. Right, this is what I wrote. The Chinese takeaway was a great place for entertainment. Pimps, prostitutes, transvestites, couples arguing, the lot. This is true. Used to get all sorts in there. I'll read you what it says and then I'll explain it. I remember there was always one bloke, arguable. Every Sunday night about 10ish, this guy would be in. I say guy. He was about 40ish, rough as a bear's arse. Tattoos, hairy armpits, the lot. He looked like he'd come from the Navy except for one thing. You know, anchor tattoo on the arm, you know, like that. Right. He wore a dress. But it didn't just stop there. I've just lost where I was. It didn't just stop there. He had the high heels, the wig, and a black shiny handbag. Right? And I could never stop looking at him. This is true, honest to God, right? This guy, this old guy, I had a thing on the forum. Somebody said that they would used to drive the ambulances around the area around about that time. And they remember picking a guy up from outside the Chinese takeaway. And they wondered if it was exactly the same person. But I'm not kidding, right? This guy was built like a brick toilet, right? And he had literally had massive arms, massive frame, right? Big arms, big anchor tattoo on here or something like that, right? And he'd have like a floral dress on, you know, like your granite wear sort of thing, a big floral dress on, right? Hairy chest sprouting out here everywhere, big hairy armpits, and he'd be there with a wig on. He had this brown sort of, I don't know, looked like he pinched it off a mannequin in the window out of Hitchens on his way past sort of thing. And he'd stand there in the queue. Right, we couldn't stop staring at him. You know what kids are like. You know, you can't be discreet as a kid. Anyway, I'll read on. Right, I could never stop looking at him. Not just a discreet look, but a full gob open stare, as a kid does like that. There you are, one accurate demonstration about 30 years on. Right, full open gob stare as a kid does. I don't know whether it was the yellow floral dress or the hairy back and armpits that really caught my attention. Or when he spoke in a real gravel deep voice and said, "Hey up me China, can they put me a fish in?" And I swear to God, it wasn't exactly like that, but it was like that, just deeper, right? And it was only when he would turn around and say, "You all right, lads?" Right? That, when I looked straight back to the front with sniggering, would turn to gobsmack. Let me rephrase that, right? It's only when he'd say that, we'd stop sniggering at him, and all of a sudden you'd be like, you know, and you just look straight to the front with a gobsmacked face, you know, because he'd spoke to you. And I think we'd just turn around and go, "Yes, mister," as you do, because you're going to state the obvious as a kid, aren't you? Anyway, it used to see, when we used to go in this place, right, used to walk, as you can see, walk through the red door as it is, with a double pussy handle, right, and you used to just, instead of sliding on the window, you used to kind of like go up to the left as you walked in, and then go along the, you know, the front of, you know, where the I suppose the heaters were with the fish and whatnot. But when it was really busy, you ended up queuing past the window, so you'd be sliding along the window. And it used to seem like hours to get served in there. You would start off just inside the door and work your way around, sliding along the wall. Yeah, I remember that. You know when somewhere's really, really hot? And it was hot, you know, it used to get really hot because it was, like I say, it was a fish takeaway sort of thing, Chinese. And we used to slide along the wall, and the wall was like really condensation-y and greasy, but it was like cold, so it used to be quite nice. And the more you slid along it, or the faster you did, the colder your arm got. And it was fascinating, like, you know, if you went really, really fast, your arm was freezing as you got to the other side, and you had a wet sleeve. No wonder my mum used to play out with me. It used to seem like hours to get served in there. You would start off just inside the door and work your way around, sliding along the wall, all greasy with curry and smelling condensation. And because I was small, I would have to stand on my toes to look into the glass counter, and the lamps behind the danger, hot to handle signs would make my face sweat. It's true, actually, yeah. I used to get so far around, and it used to be, I think it was like a Reddy's front, and I used to stand on my tiptoes and look to see what they got in with the fish and the sausage and whatnot was, because you had the fish part in the front. And like the heat, I think I used to come out with like a smack face, like somebody smacked both cheeks because you were red hot because of the heat coming from this thing. The walls were white tiled with the front of the counter panelled orange. The exact same door is still there with the double bar handle placed diagonally across the door. Even the windows and the blue panels below are the same. I think that was the colour, but I'm not quite so sure. But this is what I put back in 1992 when I wrote this. A poor sight to some and memories to me. That's true. It's absolutely true. It's one of them places I'll always remember. And I remember going back and I remember telling my mum about it as well and saying, you know, I've been seeing this bloke and whatnot. That's better. We've seen this, you know, this bloke in the Chinese takeaway. My mum would just say, oh, that's alright, but you just be careful, lads, and don't talk to him, don't stare at him. But you did, didn't you? You do. Sit and stare at somebody because he's so interesting. But it was always nice. He wasn't offensive. He was always really loud. I always remember that. Always shouting like, you know, as me butters are fishing and whatnot. But I don't know. I mean, the way he looked, he must have copped some aggro or whatnot. Especially if he went out around there. I suppose around Attercliffe they all accepted him, sort of thing. But you don't see that sort of thing anymore. They're all more refined. Well, I'm saying that. I ain't been to Attercliffe or Sheffield for ages. But anyway, that was the butterfly Chinese takeaway, now called the Silver Pan, which I believe somebody told me it was shut because they found various things hung up in the back. I won't say what, just in case somebody's watching. But that's what I did in an email anyway when I put a posting on the forum. But when we were going there, it was the best fish and chips going. Massive fish cake, sorry, not fish cake and chips. Small bit of fish, but massive tatty and a big pile of chips. And it was the best thing. Go home, watch Hammer House of Horror. Love me horror films. And yeah, Sunday night, and then go to bed. And he had to get up for school next day. But Sundays were all about that. Sundays were great. Anyway, that was video 29 part 2. Thank you very much.